Well, here we are, the Feast of the Epiphany. And what is it that we know about Epiphanies? It's like having that V8 moment, right? Something is revealed, something is manifest. The reality of the truth of something comes to mind and transforms our lives. One of the most challenging statements that we heard, if you paid attention to the gospel today, are the first words spoken by the Magi. Those first words sound more like a question, doesn't it? But it is a statement. A simple question as a statement that is probably, perhaps, one of the most important statements each of us can ask ourselves. Where is the newborn King of the Jews? The question directs us to look for and to be aware of where Christ may be found. Epiphany is a manifestation, it is a revelation, and the birth of Christ, of God made man, is a revelation to us of our being sons and daughters made in the image and likeness of Him who created us. And we celebrate today that revelation that Christ, the Son of God, was made flesh for the salvation of all peoples, Jew and Gentile, rich and poor, saint and sinner, the marginalized, the overlooked, the extraordinary, and the ordinary. Christ is made manifest to those who seek Him as the Magi did. And it is understandable in this world how hard that may be. They searched for Him diligently, and so must we. Our world and the darkness that surrounds us today is especially difficult, and it's hard to express a hope in something better, but there is. Our faith reminds us that Christ is the light in the darkness and our ultimate source of hope. What we hear today is a story of journey and encounter. It is, in fact, our story. Like the Magi, we might have to struggle through many distances, just as they did, coming from afar from the east. And those distances may become, for a time, barriers on getting to where we all belong. And that is our heavenly home with God, our Creator. Sometimes those distances are of our own making. But then, and when, we find the one we are to worship, we are fulfilled. In one word, Epiphany can be summed up like this: inclusivity. You see, the Magi's were outsiders. They were foreigners. The promised people were the Jews. But Christ did not just come for one person or a type of people or a nation. He came for all nations. He came for all people. Let me ask you, where is it that we find Jesus in the Scriptures? And where He is found most of the time? Who is He with? He is with those who are looked down upon and avoided, the outsiders and unclean, and those encouraged not to stay around and are rejected, avoided by decent and respectable people. We, the church, must be present and attentive to all people, including the people whose lives have been torn apart and fractured, people who turn away from the church because they do not find welcome, people who are told their lives are disordered and disoriented. Christ, who is for all and is present in the Eucharist, is not a reward for good behavior. It is food for our journey. So what does this story of search and encounter tell us? Where is the one who is the reason for the season? Mother Teresa once said that Christ often comes to us in the distressing disguise of the poor. If you look for him like the Magi did, you will find in your own time and sometimes in your own backyard that he may be that hungry child looking for a warm meal in a warm home, a single mother worried about her future and that of her children. He will not be found, most assuredly, in the centers of power, fame, or riches, but in the elderly who have been forgotten to fade away without any recognition of their inherent dignity, or the sick who have been neglected and uncared for as is proper to their circumstance. Let's not forget the weary and the battered who feel hurt and alone and misunderstood. Truth is, he is often found where you don't expect him. He is the refugee fleeing persecution, the homeless seeking shelter, panhandling on the street to buy a cheap meal or a 99-cent cup of Cumby's coffee. The Magi were warned in a dream to go home by another way to encounter Christ. We as a church must change direction and do better. So where do we find the newborn King of the Jews? Herod's answer to the Magi is telling. It's indicative. Search diligently with all of your heart, your mind, and your strength. If we open our eyes and our hearts, we will find him, and perhaps he will be made manifest to us in ways we never imagined. So what does this tell us? That no matter who we are, no matter what we have done, no matter how despised we may be, we are sons and daughters of God. A God who loves us immensely, unequivocally. And the truth is, we do belong to him. And we do belong with him. Christ is within us, each of us. He could be anyone and anywhere. He could be everyone perhaps knowing this and knowing this truth, that he could be anyone. We may share in the greatest epiphany of all. That is a V8 moment. As you come to receive Christ today in Eucharist, here at this table, what will you give him? The best gift you can give him is to offer the gift of yourself to the other Christs all around you. Seek and you will find. Carry your encounter with Christ in your hearts and give the gift that is more precious than gold, frankincense, and myrrh. An enduring gift of faith, which is the gift of your presence. And be the light that shines and guides those who seek to find their way back home. Their home to him, which is truth and love. For without Christ, nothing is worthwhile. So be the incentive for all to know and experience the goodness of God. God bless you. Happy Epiphany. Take care and stay safe.